Hey everybody, Omar here, the Knife Shark Guy, and I'm back with another knife video for you today. And today we're going to go back to what my YouTube channel is all about, which is the Discontinued Kershaw line. And today I have a very special piece to show you. This is a discontinued knife from Kershaw. I believe this knife has been discontinued now. This particular version of this knife has been discontinued now probably since, I'm going to guess, 2009. First off, I want to thank my very good friend, Ramin, for selling the piece to me, and I hope I said his name right. He did send me an email on how to pronounce his name, so I do appreciate that. And so basically, as you guys know, I have a Kershaw Discontinued collection. I have exactly 48, now 49 discontinued Kershaw knives, and I have decided to go ahead and do all the reviews on all of them all over again, simply because the older videos of my Kershaw knives, the camera was kind of shaky, wasn't all that great. So let's go ahead and get right into the knife that I'm going to introduce. And the knife that we're talking about today is the Discontinued Kershaw Knockout. Okay, 1870 blackwash brown version. I'm going to bring them out right now. And yeah, this knife, you may or may not see it on eBay. It's a very difficult knife to get a hold of for some reason. A little background story on this. I actually had this knife 3 years ago, and I let it go to get another Kershaw knife, which ironically I realized I didn't like that knife that I let this knife go for, so I sold it, and ever since I did that, it was a real dumb move to do. I've been looking for a Kershaw Knockout in this version all over again, the LMAX version. And I've been kicking myself in the pants because I haven't, been able to find one until now. So I'm real excited to show this piece to you. So this is it, the Kershaw 1870 Knockout Blackwash brown version. From what I understand, they made only 500 of these are in existence, from what I understand. I believe that was correct. If not, I'm sure I'll get a comment from Ramin, and he'll give me the actual stats, because that guy's, he knows all about this knife. When he collects his knives, he makes sure he gets the information directly from Kershaw, so I want to thank him once again for supplying me with that information. So why don't we go ahead and go with the specs overall, and then we're going to go ahead and get into the knife itself with some size comparisons. So let's go ahead and get into it. So the overall length of this knife is 7.8 inches. That is the overall length from the tip of the knife all the way to the back of the knife itself. So that would be 7.8 inches. The blade length from the tip all the way to the back of the knife is 3.25 inches. Blade thickness is roughly 0.12 inches. The blade material, the original blade material on this knife, as you guys know, is 14C28N, but on this version, it is the rare LMAX, which makes this knife a very rare collectible, and you can see it says LMAX right on there. It's also got this beautiful black wash color, which I absolutely love. So happy to have this in my collection. And it is a drop point blade. The blade grind is a hollow grind. So this would be the hollow grind area here. It is in black wash. It is also not a serrated piece, but a plain knife, meaning it's a straight edge piece. So that's kind of nice. Not really a fan of the serrated knives. They do have their place, but I don't particularly care for it myself. The handle length also comes at 4.6 .25 inches. So that's the actual specs on the knife. So why don't we go ahead and get a better idea of the size of the piece. Let's go ahead and put it up against some knives you guys might know. So here it is up against the Spyderco Swiss Bowie, which I had anodized. I'm going to actually get it re-anodized again. I can't wait to do that. But there's my Spyderco Swiss Bowie. There it is up against that. Okay. And how about a smaller knife? Maybe the Zero Tolerance, also anodized in gold and blue by my very good friend Troy. So there you go. Get a good shot of that. How about maybe a knife that might be on your wish list? It was on mine a couple of years back, the Sebenza 21. You guys know that's kind of a small knife also. And how about up against the much larger Chris Reeve Inkosi, which is a very big knife. So as you can see, it falls between a large 3.6-inch blade and a small, I'm going to say like 2.7-inch piece, which is the Sebenza 21. So it's a medium-sized knife. Very, very nice. Now, the knife also comes in stonewash in the LMAX version. I believe, once again, and I kind of hope Ramin will he'll correct me on this, but from what I understand, they made 1,000 of these knives, 500 in the blackwash version and 500 in the stonewash version. They also have it released in the M390, and that one, I believe you could still get it. I don't think you can get it at the Kershaw store, but you could still find it in certain places, maybe, if you're lucky. My friend Ramin has told me that he's got a couple of those, so I may hit him up on one of them. In fact, I'm probably pretty sure that I will. In any case, yeah, the Kershaw Knockout, it's definitely a classic. The ergos on this knife are amazing. It's sort of a thin profile knife. It's not a knife that is very beefy in your hand. It's a very, very thin profile. But at the same time, even though it's a thin knife, guys, there's no hot spots on it. Basically, your hand, your three fingers go here, and then your index finger goes right in there for a very comfortable grip. Okay, there's certainly a lot to be said about this piece. It is also, what's interesting about this knife is that it is a spring-assisted knife, which, as you guys know, Kershaw is very famous with their speed-safe design. Spring-assisted knives. Very... As you can see, it's got really good action for a spring-assisted piece. I don't have any problems with that. I really love it. You can also, not only can you open it with the flipper, right? But you can also open it with the thumb studs, which are just beefy enough that you can get your finger on there and pull like so. So if you're a thumb stud person, no problem there. Another interesting thing about this knife is that it is not a full frame lock. It's what's called a sub-frame lock. As you can see right here, there's a cutout in black, which, by the way, aesthetically looks absolutely fantastic on this piece. Basically, they cut out a section of the frame of the knife and make that the liner lock for it, but it's basically called a subframe lock, whereas on some knives, it's the entire knife itself from maybe up to from this area here all the way going back past to the pocket clip, where, you know, they would actually have that whole section cut out, but in this case, they only cut out half of that section to create it. I honestly think it's probably a better design just because it makes it much more solid. You know, and plus if this subframe lock breaks, you know, you can always take it to Kershaw. It's probably easier to fix than, say, a full frame lock piece, where if the titanium breaks off or cracks, which I think it's kind of ridiculous because, you know, titanium doesn't break. However, this knife is not titanium. Keep in mind, this knife has aluminum handles on it. So Really fantastic. The table price for this knife at the time, and I believe it still is, for the Sandvik version, will run you anywhere between $84.99 to $104, even as high as, I've seen it as high as like $114, $115, depending on the version you get. I'm assuming that if it is the LMAX version, the price will be a lot higher. So I'm not going to say what I paid for this knife, but I did pay more than what was than what the knife was going for at the time, simply because it was a collectible, and that, in its sense, makes it very fair. So it's just an overall knife. Let's take a good look at it, because I'm pretty much done talking about it. Let's just get a good shot at it, going all the way around. As you can see, that black wash color really makes it beautiful. And this knife, by the way, guys, is razor sharp. I want to show you with a little bit of paper cut tests going on here. I will use a receipt. Sorry to disappear, but I'm going to go ahead and cut with a pizza receipt that I just bought a pizza. So look at that. Oh my God, LMAX steel. Superb cutting. I mean, this is, I could do this, like shave the whole thing off. I mean, it is just spectacular. It's a shame I'm not going to use the knife, because it is it's a collectible. So this is sort of, let me move that garbage out of the way. This is sort of my Safe Queen collection, because all these knives are discontinued, right? I don't want to use them. It's quite interestingly funny, because, you know, my Chris Reeve knives, I'll use them, beat them up to death, because I can always take them over to Chris Reeve, have him do the spa treatment. And of course, I've got my customs collections, which you guys have seen, and those knives I actually do use. But this is going to sit in my collection, you know, just to look at and admire. I do enjoy just looking at a knife and collecting it, and knowing that it is discontinued. So it's always kind of nice to see where a knife company has been and where it's going. So there you guys have it, the Kershaw Knockout. You can also get this piece in M390. I think you might have better luck in finding it in M390. You may or may not, but if you look around certain places, I might suggest maybe Arizona Custom Knives might have it. I don't think Blade HQ would have it, but you could certainly look around somewhere. Check out eBay. eBay's got a lot of stuff going on there. They've got a lot of knives that you can see. That's where I bought most of my collection, was on eBay. So there you have it, the Kershaw Knockout. Give you a shot of the box so you guys can remember the name of the knife and the number. 1870 brown black wash version. Very discontinued piece, a very sought-after discontinued piece. Like I said, I have not seen this knife on eBay for 3 years until Ramin sold it to me, and I want to once again thank him. So just going to go ahead and reopen up my Kershaw discontinued interest, and I will be doing all of my knives all over again. So stay tuned for future videos, where I will probably be starting with one of my favorite Kershaw discontinued pieces, the Kershaw Storm. So this is Omar the Knife Shark Guy signing off, hoping that you will find this fantastic piece of sharp art in your collection someday. Once again, this is Omar the Knife Shark Guy signing off. Thank you so much, and God bless you.